Welcome to another reading. The title of this book is Say That, subtitled Your Words Are Seeds, Sow Them Wisely, by Lynn Renee Davis. This title was independently published by Lynn R. Davis. First, some housekeeping. Copyright August 11th, 2025. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying, recording, or other electronic or mechanical methods, without the prior written permission of the publisher, except in the case of brief quotations embodied in critical reviews and certain other non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law. Enough housekeeping. Let's get into the book. Grab your cup or glass, a snack, and get cozy. Let's begin. Preface. You better say that. The words we say shape the lives we live. Let's be real. Life can feel like a battlefield. Some days it's your peace under attack. Other days it's your confidence, your health, your money, your mind. It can feel like everything's coming at you at once, and you're just trying to stay on your feet. And while some of those battles come from the outside, life just being life, others, they start with us. We don't always realize how powerful our words are. We speak without thinking. We joke about ourselves like it's no big deal. I always mess things up. I'm such an idiot. Nothing ever works out for me. But those words aren't just filling silence. They're planting seeds. Over time, those seeds shape how we see ourselves, how we move through the world, what we expect, and what we think we deserve. Here's the truth. Words aren't just sounds. They're declarations. They shape our identity, our energy, our outcomes. So if you've been tearing yourself down, whether out loud or in your own head, it's time to stop. It's time to speak better, to choose words that heal, build, stretch, and empower. You are not here to live a halfway life. You are not here to shrink, settle, or stay small. You are here to rise, and it starts with what you say. Every chapter in this book is a reminder that your voice has power, that you can unlearn the old talk and relearn a new one rooted in truth, love, and strength. So when something hits you deep, say it out loud. Say it like you mean it. Say it until you believe it. Say that. Introduction. Speak it until you see it. Words are not just sound. They are energy, intention, and power. They shape the way we think, the way we live, and the way we show up in the world. The truth is, we are always manifesting something. The question is, what are you speaking into existence? Most of us don't realize how often our words are working against us. I'm tired of this life. Nothing ever works out for me. I'm always broke. I can't do this anymore. We think we're just venting, just saying how we feel. But those words, they're planting seeds. And your life will grow in the direction of whatever you keep watering, whether it's fear, lack, or faith. But guess what? You have the power to change that, to rewrite the script, to take your voice back, to speak something better, and to say it again until it sticks. Here's the formula I live by. Meditation plus declaration equals manifestation. When you dwell on truth and speak it over your life, even before the evidence shows up, you activate a shift. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about declaring what can be, even when what is feels messy. What you focus on grows. Ever notice how negativity multiplies fast? One bad thought becomes a mood. One careless comment can live rent-free in your head for weeks. That's not random. It's the power of repetition and belief. You meditate on something long enough, you start to believe it. Once you believe it, you start to speak it. And what you speak, you start to live. That's why this book exists. to help you recognize the words that are silently shaping your reality and replace them with ones that bring peace, joy, power, and growth. You've got power, now use it well. This isn't about fake positivity. It's not about saying affirmations in the mirror once and expecting everything to change. It's about building a new habit of truth. It's about unlearning toxic talk and replacing it with words that align with healing, hope, and wholeness. You'll have days where saying anything good feels hard. I get that. Life is lifing. But even on those days, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what do I really want to see in my life right now? Say that. Use your words to uplift yourself. Talk to yourself like someone worth rooting for. The talk that tears you down. You're getting dressed and the mirror sighs before you do. You catch your reflection, and without a second thought, the internal monologue begins. Ugh, I look terrible. Why did I say that? I'm so awkward. I'll never get it right. I should just stop trying. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not broken. You're just rehearsing a script you didn't even realize you picked up. And the worst part? You're the one directing, starring, and criticizing the entire production. Self talk, those quiet and sometimes not so quiet thoughts that narrate our lives, can feel harmless. But what you say to yourself becomes the backdrop of how you feel about yourself. And how you feel about yourself determines how you show up in the world. In other words, you can't build a life you love on a foundation of self hatred. It'll crack under pressure. Why we're so mean to ourselves and why it needs to stop. Here's the weird thing. Most of us speak to ourselves in ways we'd never speak to someone we love. We'd never tell our best friend, "You're such a failure." We wouldn't look at our child and say, "No one is ever going to want you." We wouldn't pull up on a coworker and whisper, "Wow, you look bloated and mediocre today." But we say it to ourselves, sometimes before breakfast. So why do we do it? Because somewhere along the way, someone else's voice became our internal narrator. A parent who was too critical, a coach who said we'd never make it, a bully, a breakup, a world that profits off of our insecurity. And because it was familiar, we mistook it for truth. Here's what the research says. Let's pause the poetic sobbing and get practical for a moment. Studies in psychology and neuroscience back up what your soul's been trying to tell you. Negative self talk literally rewires your brain. According to cognitive behavioral therapy principles, the more you repeat a thought, the stronger that neural pathway becomes. Your brain adapts to the story you feed it, good or bad. Low self-esteem feeds avoidance. A 2020 study in Clinical Psychology Review found that persistent negative self-talk is closely linked to avoidance behaviors, meaning you're more likely to not pursue goals, relationships, or dreams because you've convinced yourself you're not worthy. Self-deprecating talk affects your body. Stress hormones spike when your internal narrative is critical. Chronic negative thinking can even lower immune function, disrupt sleep, and cause physical fatigue. So, no, saying I'm trash isn't just a quirky TikTok trend. It's a toxic mantra, and your body hears you. Your words are spiritual weapons. Let's bring it back to faith. If God formed the entire universe by speaking it into existence, what makes you think your words don't hold weight? You're made in His image, which means your voice has creative power. You can't curse your own life Monday through Saturday and expect miracles on Sunday. You want breakthrough? Say that. You want peace of mind? Say that. You want healing, restoration, direction? Say that out loud. on purpose, with your chest. You may not be able to control every thought that pops up, but you can decide what stays and what gets evicted. Flip the script. Talk back to the thought. Let's practice. Here are some common self-destructive thoughts and how to flip them. Thought trap. Say that instead. I'm such a mess. I'm human and I'm healing. I'll never get it right. I learn with every step I take. I hate how I look. I am worthy of love as I am. No filter needed. No one believes in me. God believed in me enough to put breath in my body today. I can't do this. I can do hard things. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Chapter 2. Use your words to build, not tear down. Because what you speak over others says a lot about you. You can't speak life with a bitter tongue. Let's be honest. Words are easy to throw, but hard to take back. One reckless comment, one side-eye joke, one "I was just being honest" moment, and you've planted seeds that may take someone else years to recover from. And truthfully, most of the words we say about others are more about us than them. When you criticize someone's success, are you really feeling behind in your own life? When you gossip about someone's relationship, is it masking your loneliness? When you downplay someone's confidence, is it because you're struggling to find your own? That's not shade, that's self-awareness. We've all been there, spoken out of insecurity, projected our pain, let jealousy sneak into our tone. But here's the thing. Your words don't just reflect your heart, they direct your energy. If you're trying to manifest peace, joy, and healthy relationships, you can't do it while dragging others down with your mouth. Words build or burn bridges. Think back to the last time someone genuinely complimented you. Now think back to the last time someone said something slick, subtle, or shaming. Which one stuck longer? Research shows that negative comments linger in the brain up to 5 times longer than positive ones. Our minds are wired to remember pain because it feels like a threat, and our ego wants to protect us from it happening again. But here's what most people don't know. You can actually train your mind to default to love. It starts with what you say. When you speak kindness out loud, your brain registers that moment as emotionally safe. And over time, your mind becomes more wired for compassion and connection. That means speaking kindly about others isn't just good for them, it's good for you too. Speaking love isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Some people think being real means being rude. They wear their bluntness like a badge of honor. But maturity is learning that everything you think doesn't need to be said, and everything you say doesn't need to cut. There's a difference between being honest and being hurtful. There's a difference between helping someone grow and making them feel small. Words can correct, words can convict, but they should also cover. Because love doesn't humiliate, it heals. Flip the script. Talk that lifts versus talk that limits. Let's check ourselves. Here's how we can move from low vibe language to high vibe impact. Don't say this, say that instead. She thinks she's all that. She's walking in her confidence. I love that for her. He always doing too much. He's bold enough to show up as himself. I don't know why she even posted that. She's sharing her journey. That takes guts. Must be nice. That shows me what's possible for me too. I can't stand him. I release what doesn't serve me and wish him healing.